10-year-old boy came for ultrasound abdomen due to acute abdominal pain in the right iliac fossa. I am giving the first image focusing the findings in the right iliac fossa. The same boy came again due to the same acute abdominal pain in the right iliac fossa after few months. I am giving the second image focusing the findings in the right iliac fossa again. Now I want your observation. Please focus on the subtle findings given in the images. Free fluid is marked as FF and lymph nodes as L in the first image and as 1, 2, 3, 4 in the second image. If you want more time, please pause the video and review again. Within few seconds, I'll give you the findings and shall discuss about the observations. Are you ready? Let's go. The findings are almost similar, showing multiple mesenteric lymph nodes in the right iliac fossa in both the images with the same size and configuration. But in the first image, we have thin free fluid in right iliac fossa, and in the second image, we have echogenic mesenteric fat standing in between the enlarged lymph nodes, which was not there in the first image. I have marked them for your identification. The diagnosis in both is mesenteric lymphadenitis. The first one might be non-specific mesenteric lymphadenitis and the second one is specific mesenteric lymphadenitis because there was a 8 mm thick, non-compressible, tender, non-peristaltic tubular lesion below the lymph nodes. You can see the given image, which is highly specific for appendicitis, and this was surgically proven. Now the entire discussion is about the mesenteric lymphadenitis in our children. I think worldwide in children, most of the radiologists and sonologists, when they see mildly enlarged multiple mesenteric lymph nodes in right iliac fossa with no other findings, we report this as non-specific mesenteric lymphadenitis or non-specific mesenteric lymph nodes. That indicates that we are almost ruling out this specific mesenteric lymphadenitis to the referring practitioners who can be surgeons or pediatricians or family physicians. We mean that no other findings had been detected in this ultrasound study, right? Then what are the causes of specific mesenteric lymphadenitis in children? I will discuss shortly about the three most common causes of specific mesenteric lymphadenitis in children. Everybody knows appendicitis is the most common cause of mesenteric lymphadenitis in children, which can have mesenteric fat standing with or without any collection. Presence of thin free fluid or fluid collection might be there in the right iliac fossa, but it is not specific. The most specific finding is the thickened inflamed appendix as given in the image. The next mimicker of appendicitis is ileitis or ileocolitis, where we can also have mesenteric lymphadenitis. Usually there may not be any fluid collection or significant mesenteric fat standing. There will be significant ileal or ileocecal wall thickening. We might see normal appendix sometimes, but tuberculosis also comes in the subacute or chronic pattern of right iliac fossa pain in this category. The next one is the resolving intersusception. Typical intersusception in infancy is easy when bowel in bowel sign or target sign or telescoping sign is detected in the ultrasound study. But rarely, spontaneous reduction of the intersusception might be misleading sometimes with some inflammatory changes in the right iliac fossa of mesenteric fat standing, and you may have few enlarged lymph nodes mimicking all our differential diagnosis. I mean, it mimics ileocolitis, appendicitis or mesenteric lymphadenitis. Now I will give the practical discussion. I think this could be the pathway in the future. For the past few years, most of the children are in favor of having all the varieties of chicken in non-vegetarian local hotels or in 3-star restaurants or in pizzas or KFCs. In the background of all these chicken varieties, now we can discuss about the pathophysiology of right iliac fossa pain in children who take chicken once to thrice in a week. Those chicken pieces had been stored for weeks to months in the hotels. Remember that. First, within few weeks or months, many children would have reactive lymphoid tissue with some abdominal pain in right iliac fossa and they come for ultrasound. That could be reported as non-specific mesenteric lymphadenitis. Within few more weeks to months of continuation of the chicken intake which has been processed in the hotels, some of the children get more infected, especially in the terminal ileum or in the ileocecal region with right iliac fossa abdominal pain. Those children would undergo ultrasound and it is reported as ileal wall thickening with enlarged mesenteric lymph nodes. If the bowel pattern is continued for a long time, many months later they might have fucolith, which can be soft or hard. So distension of appendix might happen and there is increased mucinous fluid, which increases pressure, and so the venous supply is compressed, and then the appendicular wall breaks down and the bacteria get into the wall. The inflammation is more, which is causing vague pain usually in the umbilicus. But when the inflamed appendix becomes larger and touches the parietal peritoneum, it gives positive McBurney's point tenderness with shift of the pain in the right iliac fossa. This pattern is the trend now, And this has been alarmingly raising to almost 90% of right iliac fossa pain in this 2020s due to the high intake of processed chicken in the hotels and restaurants. It's alright with the general population, it's okay. But alas, this trend is popular even in the doctor groups. To all radiologists and sonologists, when there are enlarged mesenteric lymph nodes in right iliac fossa in our scan, the presence of mesenteric fat stranding could be subtle or might be missed. So do not report anything as non-specific mesenteric lymphadenitis, especially if the child has highly thickened subcutaneous fat or has gaseous bowel pattern. Here, doing CT is crucial for the final diagnosis in such situation. Finally, it's very rare to have appendicitis in infancy, but I had already discussed about the rare finding of appendicitis in infants. I am giving the link at the end of the session. Please click it if you are interested. I am giving the link of all the other quizzes in the description box below. You can click that if you want. That's the end of the session. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Please share this with your specific doctor groups. Give your valuable comments, and I'm waiting for your suggestions. Thank you again.